Welcome to From the Ground Up. This podcast is about creating a strong foundation for building a life, a family, a business, and everything that goes into making it last. Let's get into it. Hi, everyone. I'm Jen DeVito, owner of Evolution General Contracting. Welcome back to From the Ground Up. I'm excited today to have now one of my best friends, Jen, on, and with her daughter, Kendall. I met them through LIBI, which is the Long Island Builders Institute, and it's a networking organization for people in the construction industry. And through that, we have become very good friends. And I'm excited for you to hear her story and her daughter's story and where they've come through their journey. So welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. We're very excited to be here.
Okay, so we'll get right into it. So Jen, you first. Tell us a little bit about your career. And you didn't follow the traditional path into construction. What gave you the confidence to step into a new industry?
So I have 20 years of sales experience. So I actually started, my first sales job was a medical supply company located in Tampa, Florida. We were selling medical devices, gloves, and dental supplies, funeral home supplies. And so I was working there for about 6 years, fell in love with sales, fell in love with the unlimited earning potential. And in 2010, we decided to move to New York. My ex had a job opportunity with JetBlue, so we decided to move up here. And then I started to work for Xerox. And I was at Xerox for about 9 years, went through many different roles from outside sales, managed print, also supply sales. And from then went to DRP Solutions, was there for 7 years, built 2 successful divisions for them from the ground up. And just recently, about 90 days ago, I moved into the Optimus Group Construction. So that's a little bit of my backstory of my professional career. But I think what gave me the confidence to move into the construction role was really LIBI, being around construction, being around the professionals such as yourself, seeing how hard you work, how much success that you drive, and just really having a good team at Optimus to back me, helped me to make that transition.
That's great. I mean, you've been great ever since I've known you in sales. So they are lucky to have you. People often confuse motivation with discipline. Which one has carried you further in your career? And how do you stay disciplined when you don't feel motivated?
So I would say I'm big on motivating others. I have been in a leadership role in sales for the past 7 years. So motivation is important. However, it doesn't carry you through every day. So the discipline is that's what's going to help you to keep going. Some days you wake up and you feel inspired, you feel excited. Other days you may wake up, you may feel a little tired, a little lackluster. So I think that having that discipline to get things done every single day, doing the same thing, being repetitive, striving hard every day for success is what's going to carry you in the long run.
Do you have any daily routines that help you when you might not be in the right mindset?
Yes. So every day when I wake up, mostly every day, I go to my backyard, I meditate for 10 to 15 minutes, I sit in the sun, and I say what I'm thankful for. You can always have bad days. Things could always go better. But I think when you bring yourself into the present moment and you look around and you give thanks for everything you have now, that creates a positive mindset to keep going.
I love that. I love that. Throughout your career, what's one habit or mindset that you believe separates successful people from everyone else?
So it's interesting. I've been into a lot of different companies in the corporate world, and I've always thought of how did this one person come from the same place as all these, maybe factory workers, right? How did the owner get to where he is? And I definitely think it's mindset, being positive and having a radical belief in yourself. So if you have a goal, if you have a vision, if you have something that you want to achieve, you have to believe in it. You have to trust in yourself and also work hard to get there. I think negativity brings a lot of people down, or limiting beliefs may keep someone stuck in a specific role. I think when you really expand your mindset and the possibilities of what you can have in this life, that's how you achieve success, along with hard work. But mindset is everything.
I agree with that so much. And I think not being afraid to fail is the key. So once you have that mindset, then you actually have to execute things that you're thinking and not be afraid to fail. And I think that that's huge in everything. Okay, you've built an incredible network over the years. How have relationships impacted your career? And what's your philosophy on building genuine connections instead of just networking?
So I think the biggest thing for me is just giving first and also not expecting a transaction out of a relationship. I love to get to know people. I like to have one-on-ones. I want to sit down. I want to hear their story. I want to hear their struggles. I want to see, like, is there anything I can do to maybe help that person elevate or achieve the next level that they're looking to get to? And I do wholeheartedly believe in giving. And I think that it comes back to you. Everything you put out there comes back. And I believe that that's carried me through Libby for 6 years. Now I'm involved in a bunch of different groups. And it's still my mindset is to walk in the room and create value for the room, not just take something out of it for myself.
Again, agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that people are looking for friendships and a circle to grow. And what better to do business with people who, you genuinely care about. I think that's the ultimate. And especially finding friends after you're out of high school, once as you get older, once you have kids. I think that's a struggle for a lot of people in life, is finding good quality people to associate with and enjoy life with. So I've loved that in networking in general. I've grown a lot of my friends at this stage in my life through networking and through meeting people. And then, like I said, that's the best thing in the world, to be able to do business with your friends just makes it so much better. And you can rely on them. It's so hard to find good people. So when you can find them and work with them and rely on them, it's a win-win. So, and I think, the only way to do that is to enter into these groups just looking to connect with people without looking for how it can benefit you. Then I think that's the key to networking. Otherwise, people can sniff that out right away.
Yes, I agree.
If someone came to you today wanting to break into construction or completely reinvent their career, what advice would you give them?
My biggest advice, like you said, don't be afraid to fail, right? Put yourself in the room before you fully understand the industry. You're not going to know everything. And if you wait until you feel like you have the most knowledge, you may never take the step. So my biggest advice was take the leap of faith and surround yourself with like-minded people and industry experts. Get yourself a mentor. When I first started the Optimist Group, one of the partners was showing me things, and right away, it was like day 2 or 3. I'm like, oh, you're going to mentor me. And he's like, I don't know if that's what I am. But he's been in the industry for 20 years. He knows the good, the bad, the ugly, the success, So I think it's very important to surround yourself with people who know and are subject matter experts so that you can learn from.
I'm looking forward to start asking you questions, but I think that for a lot of people, when you're 18, 19, 20, to get into a field that you want to be in forever, I think is very rare. So I encourage people to change careers. It doesn't matter if you didn't go to school for it. You, first of all, learn the most on the job. So hopefully, you can get doors to open for you in these other industries, even if you don't have experience. But if you don't find your passion and you're not working in what you love, I think you're missing out in a big part of life, because we work most of our lives. So to be able to do something that you love and grow and move up and get that self-gratification in what you love, I think it's huge. So I agree. Just take that leap of faith, go for it. And what do you have to lose?
Very true.
Just do it. Okay, so Jen has done an amazing job raising her daughter, and Kendall is a pilot, which is another male-dominated field.
It is.
So that is another reason why I had them on the show, because we love to show people and our audience that, again, don't be afraid, go after things, and especially if it's a male-dominated field, that's okay. You can enter it, you can break through, and you can succeed.
100%.
So becoming a pilot is an ambitious goal. When did you know that flying was what you wanted to do? And what first sparked that passion?
So I've wanted to be a pilot ever since I was 7 years old. I was introduced to aviation at a young age because my mom and I traveled a lot. And I was always fascinated by it. Every time I would get in the plane, I would love taking off, hearing the engines roar, and even being in the plane, I always wanted the window seat just to see like life from above. And as I got older, the fascination never really stopped. It only grew stronger. And I started flying when I was 16. I took my first discovery flight, and then I went through college, and then I fully went into training at 20 years old, and I passed everything. And it's just been up from there.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Pilot training is incredibly demanding, I would assume. Were there moments when you questioned yourself, and what kept you going?
Without a doubt. I went through an accelerated flight training program, which is ATP, and I don't think I truly understood what accelerated meant until I was living it. It was one of the most mentally demanding things I've ever done in my entire life. And there was days I would eat, sleep, breathe aviation. I was completely immersed in it, and my interpersonal relationships, like with my mom and my friends, definitely took a hit because I had no time for anything but aviation, and I was expected to learn something new every day in regards to a different topic in flying, whether it was my instrument or commercial licensing. And I would look at the amount of information. It was a plethora of it, and I wasn't sure if I was able to fully go through it and know everything, but the fear of failure was less than my want and desire for that dream. So I never let it stop me, and that's kind of how I got through it. But 100% I doubted myself, but I just kept persevering, and I became someone who was more dedicated and working hard towards my goals rather than letting it set me back.
That's a great example of, people always ask me about balance. Yeah. And how, so you said how that consumed you. I feel like people, I want them to think more about their life in general, like in seasons, instead of trying to balance every day.
Yeah.
I think that's impossible. And there are going to be certain times in your life when, if you want something, that you may have to focus on that more than your personal relationships, or focus on, maybe when you have kids, you have to focus on them for a time and less on your career. But I just think that there's seasons. And I think that instead of looking at that time as a sacrifice, I think when you take a step back and look at a person's whole life, it appears balanced, but there are definitely times when you have to focus on one thing more than another. And that's okay. Yeah. Everything doesn't have to be balanced.
I agree.
And I think that that's a great example of what you needed to do and what you focused on for that time, and other things went by the wayside, and that's okay.
I agree. I think in any aspect of anybody's life, if you're pursuing a specific career, you have to, again, they're not always considered a sacrifice, but you have to put things on the back burner and focus truly on what you're desiring in that moment of your life, because the benefit will always outweigh the cost.
I agree with that. Many young people struggle to choose a career path. What would you tell someone who's afraid to pursue a difficult dream because they're worried they'll fail? I know me and you have talked about this. How about your opinion on that?
I think so many people are consumed with the idea of failure that they never actually get to experience what they're truly capable of. And I think, to me, that's way scarier than ever failing. And I'd rather pursue a career that excites me and fail at it than be successful at a career that I never wanted to live, and live a life that I didn't want because it was the easier route. So if there's anybody that was fearing pursuing a specific aviation in general, or any industry, I would say go for it, because failure is life's greatest teacher. And from your failures, you learn the greatest lessons. And without failure, you wouldn't be successful. So you have to take a leap and never take anybody else's opinion if it goes against yours, and do what your heart desires. Find something you're passionate about, that you love, and don't listen to anybody else. I had a lot of people tell me, like, even when I tell people to this day, I'm a pilot, they'll ask me, you're a flight attendant, or how are you a pilot? And like, you act the way you do, or whatever it may be. But being in a male-dominated industry, you'll always go through that, especially in construction. I'm sure you've experienced the same type of feedback, but just always chase your dreams and follow your heart. You live once.
I agree. And we are the main character of our own story.
Exactly.
So if you let it be influenced by anybody else around you, you are missing out.
Exactly.
So that was an amazing answer. And I genuinely feel every single thing that you just said.
I see it when I look at you. You're a big inspiration to me, and for my mom as well. I'm blessed that she met you.
Thank you very much.
Surely.
And that's, again, I tell her, but that's why, I do even the show. That's why I do anything. All the social media I do, all of that. It's not about, being out there. I never thought I would be on social media, but I am happy to be, because I didn't have people to look up to. So I'm trying to use social media in a positive way where we give people, we're visual inspirations that they actually can see and follow. And it's real life. It's not, a famous person that's talking. This is just like real people. And I want to share all these stories. So hopefully it inspires someone else who's listening to go for it and do it and not be afraid to fail.
100%.
So thank you for that. Looking ahead 10 years, where do you hope your aviation career takes you?
Obviously, there is the professional dream of I want to sit in the left seat of the cockpit for Delta and be the captain. That's my major goal within the next 10 years. But for my personal goal, I want to be proud of like the woman I became. I think a lot of my time through aviation, I was so focused on achieving the next goal that I wasn't present in any of my training. I was very much in a fight or flight mode, and I never felt gratitude for any of the accomplishments I made. So I hope 10 years from now, I can look back at the woman I became and live my life with the utmost gratitude and be present in my life and see that, yes, I'm in the left seat and I made it as a captain, but I hope that my interpersonal relationships again grow deeper and I have the opportunity to love and share everything. Even with you being in my mom's life, I hope to give you a ticket to a flight and just feel that love just rather than wearing the uniform.
I love that. I have had to learn too that things are more than just reaching goals. And for me, having kids and doing this while raising 2 kids as a single mom, just like you, if I compared myself to other people, getting to these goals took me longer because a lot of the people I was comparing myself to were men who they didn't have to take care of their kids. Their wives did. And they were able to achieve goals quicker. And that always bothered me a lot. And then I finally realized a few years ago now that it's not about the goal, it's about the journey. And I really enjoy the journey. As hard as it is, I enjoy every single day and I love the journey. And I feel like that's similar to what you're saying.
100%.
And yeah, I think that that's a huge key to this whole thing, to be happy and not be fixated on that goal.
Yes. It's important to live present in your own life because life will go by either way. And if you stay present in everything, and even with your girls, I'm sure as you're watching them grow up and as my mom did, it goes by fast.
Yes.
Everything does.
Yeah, it does. So some questions for both of you guys. Jen, what's the biggest challenge of raising a daughter as a single mom? And then Kendall, looking back now, what do you appreciate most about your mom that you probably didn't understand as a child?
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
I think the biggest challenge was just having to be both parents and sometimes not being as soft as, you think, I'm definitely a nurturer, but you think of a mother as being the soft, the nurturing one, and the dad more as a disciplinary person. And I was definitely extremely hard on her. I pushed her to her limits. I wasn't always the soft, sweet person. I think that I had to be both. And sometimes that's trying on you because you want to just be everything to them and provide and protect. And, I would worry like I didn't always have the easiest upbringing or the easiest life. So I just wanted her to have such a different start and such a different life. And so I think that was the biggest challenge, was just really being hard on myself and looking back and thinking like, oh, did I do it right?
Now that you see her grown, do you think you've done it right?
I think looking back, you always self-reflect and you think like there could have been things that I did differently, but I'm just extremely proud of myself and how far I've come. And I'm so proud of who she is, not only in her career and her achievements, but just who she is as a person, how she understands the world, the way she looks at people and humanity and the way she gives. And she's really incredible. And I'm very proud.
And honestly, her having that outlook at such a young age, usually it takes people years and years, I think, to get to the emotionally intelligent level that she's at. And I think that is thanks to you and your upbringing with her. I think you did an unbelievable job, and that is the example. So
thank you.
I give you a lot of credit.
Thank you.
And so Kendall, looking back, what did you appreciate most about your mom that you probably didn't understand as a child?
I think as children, you kind of have this expectation that your mom's supposed to give to you, just naturally. You're supposed to have the house under your head. She's supposed to make you lunch, and all of these different things. That as a kid, it's kind of like, oh, my mom's a great mom because she does that. But now that I'm older and I understand the difference of what the sacrifices she did, because she did have me very young, I feel a lot more grateful for it now. Now that I'm 23 and if I were to picture myself having a kid the age she did, I couldn't imagine the things that she sacrificed to give me the life I did, because I was put in every sport I wanted, every religion class, and she did her best to provide her the life that she didn't have growing up. And it takes a lot, sacrifices everything. And now that I'm older, I appreciate it more than ever.
It's unbelievable.
True.
It's a
Thank you.
great story. And there are obviously, what's the divorce rate? Well over 50%. So there is a lot of women out there who are single parents who are doing this. And there's the reverse also. There's men also who are doing it. But I think you are an inspiration to people. And another thing that I just want women and people to hear and think about, because I feel like a lot of this is not talked about out loud. Divorce happens a lot. And I think that if women can hold their own careers, then I think that instead of feeling trapped in a relationship and not be, again, fear, not being afraid to leave that relationship and seeing other women who have done it, who have worked and raised kids and afforded the house, the food, the activities, I think that putting that out there and showing people is really important. And I hope that also, translates to anybody out there listening that you can do it. You can do it. It 100%. Is hard. It's not easy, but it can be done. And I think we're both living examples of that. And again, I just want other people to see that.
I totally agree. And just to add on to that as well, recently I had heard about your story and comparing both, just in general, putting you guys in the same category, the strength that it took you both to succeed with having us in your baby girls as well. But it makes you so much stronger, and the things that you went through to raise all of us. And I know I'm categorizing myself as your own, but it's the truth. You grow so much as a woman, and I watched that with you, and it inspires me. And I remember talking to my mom multiple times after we had our conversation, but it's like, through that pain, you grow incredibly, and you wouldn't have been able to grow without that pain. And I tell my mom that all the time.
And that's been a big reason for me of how I'm okay with it. I didn't think that this was going to be my path. I didn't think I was going to be divorced. My parents aren't divorced. I didn't come from, there's not a single divorced person in my entire family circle. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, literally nobody. I didn't think this was going to be my path, but you've taught me a lot about where you're supposed to be in life and what comes to you. It's like it meant to be. And I am okay with it because I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be.
I agree.
And I like that a lot. And I am, that's it. I'm not happy's not the right word. I'm not happy that I'm divorced, but this all happened for a reason. I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I am grateful that I can share this story with the world and help people get to the next level after divorce and kick ass and really not just survive, but really thrive.
I just want to
divorce.
say, watching your journey too, really quick, we're a little off topic, but
okay.
Sometimes when you have the wrong people in your life, whether it's a friend, whether it's a job, whether it's a career, when you're not in alignment with who you are and your soul's purpose, I think you struggle really, really hard. And I just want to say that your business has blown up since that divorce. So I'm just going to say that sometimes you need to remove situations for you to really soar and ascend. And I think that happened with me too. It was like I ended a really, not great relationship of 14 years. And then things just started unfolding for me so easily, but so evident that, wow, this was not supposed to be my path anymore. And now my path is opening up and this is the right path. So
And
it's
if I
nice
was
to be
still,
able to see it.
I agree. And if I was still in it, like I'm a different person now than I was then. When you're in it, it's very hard to see it. Now that happened, I think I'm a much more emotionally intelligent person. I think that I've learned so much from it that I didn't see and wouldn't know if this didn't happen. And I think that all these things I've learned from, as long as you can learn from them. A lot of people this happens to, and they unfortunately feel like the victim, stay the victim, and they don't thrive.
Repeat the pattern.
Yes. So as long as you can take it, embrace it, own it, and freaking do something about it and grow, then you do what, like you said earlier, anything negative that has happened and any failures, any mistakes, all of this helps you get to every next level in life. So yeah, it's unbelievable, but it's great. And so that's it. If you're going through a hard time, just stick through it, reflect, learn from it, and look at yourself a year from now. You should be in a completely different and better spot in a lot of different ways. Jen, what values were most important for you to teach Kendall?
I think the best values that I taught her was just being honest, like living your life with integrity, doing what you say. Like if you say something, staying committed, discipline, and hard work. I think those are the things that have carried her through. And I believe that if I left this earth tomorrow, I know she would be okay. I know she would thrive. I know she would soar. And I feel like it's just because she's an extremely hard worker and she shows up, she's consistent, and she has great discipline. So those are things.
And Kendall, which one of these values has had the biggest impact on your life?
I think there's one word that can put all of those into a good category, but my mom's taught me resilience. And that's something I've noticed more as I've gotten older, but my mom is probably the most resilient woman I know. She's been through certain circumstances that would break a normal human being, and watching her transform and evolve each year, because I've been with her since she's 19. So I've seen every phase of her life. And it's almost like you're watching a butterfly go through metamorphosis to see her grow. And I've watched her reinvent herself year after year and always trying to evolve spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And it's a beautiful thing because I know that resilience is the only thing that'll push you to do that. You can have the discipline, the motivation, that all adds into being a resilient human being and keep going forward no matter what brings you back.
And it's inevitable. Things are going to happen in life.
100%.
It is inevitable.
Yeah.
If they haven't yet, something's going to happen.
100%.
So I think resilience is an excellent word for that. Yeah. And I also think that continuous growth, you should be continuously growing your entire life. Yes. Every day, week, month, year, you should be always growing, always learning, and always trying to be a better and better and better version of yourself. That's what will get you to feel that you have a fulfilled life 100%. When you are that type of person.
Yep.
Success looks different to everyone. How do each of you define success today compared to 10 years ago?
Wow. I would say 10 years ago, I was definitely a beast in sales. I wanted to be the best. I was very competitive. I always wanted to be the top of the leaderboard. I wanted to provide, which I still do, right? But I just wanted to give her the best life possible. But I was stuck very much in fight or flight. I would say I define success now with an alignment in my purpose, right? So whether it's helping people, whether it's helping people heal, whether it's being in the right rooms, creating the right rooms for others and myself, and also a career choice where I'm surrounded with just good people and people with good intentions and more peace. So I would say success for me now is peaceful, whereas before it was a little chaotic. And, I still achieved all my goals and the things that I wanted to do, but I feel like now I want to magnetize myself and attract more than I am chasing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's very well said. I like that.
Thank you.
And how about you?
And it's very similar to her answer. When I was younger, I was very worldly. I loved fast cars, money, even from a young age. I always thought success was something visible. It was your grades, something that was in your bank account or an accomplishment. And I think as I've gotten older, I've had the money now. I've had the good grades. I've been on honor roll. I've got the pilot's licensing. But I think truly what success is having peace and being able to have love around you, not only for yourself, but for the people around you. Because I don't think there's anything more fulfilling in life than being surrounded by love, like especially when it's friends and those connections that you had brought up in the beginning. I want all of those things still, don't get me wrong, but truly today it's peace and happiness and being able to love your family, I think is the most successful life you could live.
I think that's great. And like I said, both of you, very well said. Very well said. So at the end of every podcast, we like to ask a question. Like I said, yes, goals are important. They enjoy the journey, but always having those goals to reach for are super important. So we always ask everyone, what are you building in your personal or in your career? What are you building this week, this month, or this year? What are you working towards?
This year?
It could be anything. It could be this week, this month, or this year, or a combination of all three.
Okay. I'll go with this year because I do have kind of like a year goal in mind. So this year in my career path, I want to build success. I want to build meaningful relationships that may not bring me a project today, but it could be, somewhere down the line. But I want to build the right relationships with intention for this new career path that I'm in, which is very different because before potentially my client was everyone. Now it's, a targeted market of people. So that's a big focus for me. And also just more self-care and maybe some traveling and just things that bring me like happiness and peace. That's my goal for this year.
I like it. And how about you?
Good. This week, I'm focusing on my knowledge for my instructing job. And then as far as the year, I hope to be applying for the major airlines at the end of the year. So I'm just going to be working on building my hours. And as far as the personal development and self-development, I think I want to become someone that is more just centered in self rather than being so all over the place. I feel like my life's always like this and I never take a second to breathe. But this summer, spending it with my mom and even you, I was able to like reflect back on my life and enjoy these little moments that I haven't got to have in years. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I felt this summer has been a great summer.
Yes.
And
definitely.
I work a lot, but I also make time for my kids and for personal. And I think I'm a better all around person because I do make time for growing the connections, growing the friendships, having fun. I love to have fun. And that helps me. It keeps me alive and keeps me fresh. Could I sit there? I could 24/7 and do it, but I don't on purpose because I feel alive every day, and being around people I just feel so good. I'm a very social person, and I lost that. I lost that during my marriage. I think a lot of people do. You can lose your sense of self and you get so involved in kids and the marriage and your spouse. I think, again, now I won't let that happen. But when you're in it and you don't know any better, it just can happen sometimes. So now too, I feel like just every year keeps getting better and better. And listen, growing friendships, it does not happen fast. To find the right people that you want to dedicate that time to grow a relationship is hard to find. But when I find them, then I want to, and I love it. And it's become a huge part of my life. So yes, my summer has been great because of you too as well.
You too. Super fun summer.
And we still have 3 weeks left.
I love it.
Okay, well, thank you again, both. And thank you for being vulnerable and for just speaking your truth. I really appreciate it. And I think a lot of people can have a lot of takeaways from this conversation. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.